Upon hearing these words, the malice old monster's pupils contracted sharply, and his gaze locked onto the ethereal figure in front of him. Jiao Yu Fairy? If it hadn't been for her back then, how could he have been trapped in the ruins? How could he have been bound there for thousands of years, unable to leave? So now, seeing Jiao Yu Fairy again, the malice old monster's eyes brimmed with deep hatred. Begone! Jiao Yu Fairy softly commanded, raising her hand gently. Instantly, an invisible force dispersed the life and death power surrounding the malice old monster. Are you the one I've chosen as my heir? After doing this, Jiao Yu Fairy turned slightly toward Yuru, completely ignoring the malice old monster's reaction. What everyone saw was a woman with an air of ethereal elegance. Her long, glossy black hair cascaded down like a waterfall, and her graceful brows added to her delicate beauty. With porcelain-like skin and a figure that swayed enchantingly, she was the dream woman of many men. On her forehead, a silver-white moon rune faintly glimmered, exuding an aura of mystery. Yes, Senior, it is me, Yuru responded softly, wiping away the sweat that had formed from summoning Jiao Yu Fairy. On her own forehead, rune identical to the one on Jiao Yu Fairy's appeared, her inheritance rune. 2 sacred flames and a boy skilled in the Ghost Realm's dark arts, Jiao Yu Fairy mused. It seems that those aiding you are not ordinary. Though they are still weak now, I believe in the near future, they will claim their place among the strongest in the great thousand worlds, she added with a sweet smile. No, even though Jiao Yu Fairy is just a projection, she's still beyond what I can handle at this point, the malice old monster thought, realizing the gravity of the situation. He began planning his escape, knowing full well that retreating would preserve his chance to fight another day. Senior. Sensing the malice old monster's intent to flee, Xiao Yan quickly spoke up. Don't worry, Jiao Yu Fairy replied, nodding slightly. She raised her slender hand, and in the blink of an eye, a silver-white beam of light silently streaked across the sky, aiming directly at the malice old monster, who had just attempted to flee. Not good. The malice old monster immediately noticed the attack, but it was too late to evade. I may not be here in person, Jiao Yu Fairy laughed softly, but if I can't even deal with a mere 8-star Do D like you, then what am I? Jiao Yu Fairy, how dare you call yourself a Do Xian? The malice old monster roared in anger, struggling in vain against the silver-white energy binding him. No matter how hard he fought, he couldn't break free. A Do Xian? Yet you imprison us? Malice old monster, you're wrong about that, Jiao Yu Fairy responded calmly. If it weren't for your greed for the treasures in my ruins, you wouldn't be in this predicament. You brought this upon yourself. Blame no one else. You. The malice old monster was furious, itching to strike her down. The life and death dual spring was a cherished place of feng shui in my era. It's truly a pity that with my fall, it too lost its power, Jiao Yu Fairy remarked, looking at the twin circular islands and the spring between them. Her voice carried a tinge of regret. Senior, is there any way to restore the life and death dual spring? Xiao Yan asked, unwilling to give up hope. This spring was Xiao Yan's last chance. If it couldn't be restored, he would be unable to generate life force within his body. While being at the perfect 6-star Do D level now didn't pose much of an issue, when breaking through to 7-star Do D, others would gain a significant boost from the life and death energy. Without it, Xiao Yan's combat strength would be significantly weakened. Moreover, without life force, Xiao Yan's peak would be capped at perfect 8-star Do D at best. Breaking through to 9-star Do D without life force would be impossible. Yet, there were still so many things Xiao Yan had to accomplish. Not to mention Kai Lin, who had already reached Do Xian's strength, and finding Sun Air, unraveling the mysteries of the Xiao clan. Everything required power. But with just the strength of an 8-star Do D, those tasks would be nearly impossible. You seem to have a unique condition within your body, Jiao Yu Fairy observed, her beautiful eyes narrowing slightly. I assume you wish to use the life and death dual spring to generate life force? Yes, Xiao Yan admitted without hesitation. The life and death dual spring does indeed have such mysterious power, but, she paused, restoring it comes at a great cost. Are you still willing? Jiao Yu Fairy asked, her voice filled with quiet seriousness. That could shatter you into pieces. Before Xiao Yan could respond, Jiao Yu Fairy spoke again. Shatter me? Xiao Yan echoed, a bit puzzled. The life and death dual spring certainly holds many mysterious effects, but after I fell, it inexplicably lost its mystique and turned into nothing more than ordinary spring water. I suspect it has something to do with what's beneath it, Jiao Yu Fairy said, staring intently at the spring between the two circular islands. What is it? Xiao Yan asked. The spring eye. If we want to restore the life and death dual spring to its former mystery, we'll have to investigate below. I suspect the spring eye is the source of the problem, Jiao Yu Fairy said seriously. However, this spring eye embodies both yin and yang. She continued, but her gaze suddenly shifted to Xiao Yan and Mu Yingying. From what she sensed, both of them had a sacred flame within them. However, the sacred flame within Mu Yingying seemed dormant, or perhaps sealed, which puzzled Jiao Yu Fairy. So, Xiao Yan mused, piecing things together. It needs sacred flame, doesn't it? He connected Jiao Yu Fairy's earlier surprise regarding their flames to this new revelation. Yes, Jiao Yu Fairy nodded slightly, impressed with Xiao Yan's quick understanding. This could be a real problem, Xiao Yan muttered, feeling a twinge of worry. He knew that Mu Yingying's sacred flame was sealed or otherwise incapacitated, and sending her down now could be dangerous. Do you really need this so badly? Mu Yingying asked softly, stepping closer to Xiao Yan. I'm already at the peak of a perfect 6-star Do-D, but my body still hasn't produced life force. It feels like this life and death dual spring might be my last hope. But your health is more important. I'll figure out another way. Xiao Yan forced a bitter smile, knowing how crucial the spring was for him, but unwilling to risk Mu Yingying's life, especially in her current condition. I'll go down with you, Mu Yingying suddenly declared, a bright, determined smile lighting up her face. Don't be reckless. You know the state your body is in. Xiao Yan snapped, his frustration boiling over. My master trusted me to bring you all back safely. I won't put you at risk. How would I ever explain it to Vice Palace Master Mu Shuzi? No, absolutely not, Xiao Yan said firmly, rejecting her suggestion outright. But, you really need this, Mu Yingying's voice softened. She rarely saw Xiao Yan so angry, but she couldn't stand by and watch him give up on his last chance. No matter how aware she was of her own frail condition, Mu Yingying didn't want to see Xiao Yan lose hope. No matter how valuable it is, it's not worth more than a friend's life, Xiao Yan said through clenched teeth, the pain in his voice evident. Ah, you too. Jiao Yu Fairy suddenly chuckled, breaking the tension between them. Senior, do you have any ideas? Mu Yingying immediately turned to her with a pleading look. Repairing the spring eye won't cost you too much. At most, you'll lose some of the sacred flame's essence. I'm not sure what's going on inside your body, but fixing the spring eye only requires the power of sacred flame. It might weaken you temporarily, but it won't be fatal, Jiao Yu Fairy reassured her. Really? Mu Yingying's face lit up with relief. If it was just a matter of recovering from some damage, that was something Xiao Yan, as an accomplished alchemist, could easily manage. Yes. So, you can proceed without worry, Jiao Yu Fairy encouraged them once again. Are you sure? Xiao Yan couldn't help but ask again, still uneasy about the situation. Xiao Yan had always known about Mu Yingying's feelings toward him, but he didn't want to owe her too much. Even though the life and death dual spring was crucial to him, Xiao Yan couldn't bear the thought of Mu Yingying getting hurt, especially since he had promised to help her find her brother. I'm sure, Jiao Yu Fairy replied with a sweet smile. Let's not waste any more time. Where exactly is the spring eye? Xiao Yan asked, finally coming to terms with the situation. The spring eyes of the life and death dual spring are located at the far edges of the two circular islands, Jiao Yu Fairy explained. Let's go, Mu Yingying said, stepping forward confidently, glancing at Xiao Yan. Be careful, Yuru called out, unable to do much to help Xiao Yan at the moment. But in her heart, she vowed that she would win Xiao Yan over one day. As her father always said, if you like someone, you have to fight for it. If you don't even try, you've already lost. Got it, Xiao Yan replied with a light nod. Jiao Yu Fairy, Don't assume that just because those two possess two sacred flames, they'll be able to repair the spring eye. Even I can't do anything about that place. Do you really think two mere 6-star dough discs can fully harness the power of the sacred flames? Malice Old Monster sneered, despite being restrained by Jiao Fairy. Just because you can't, doesn't mean others can't, Jiao Fairy replied with a soft, almost teasing smile. And you're underestimating the power of the sacred flames. Senior, about the inheritance rune on my forehead? Yuru spoke up after watching Xiao Yan and the others descend into the spring. Her primary concern was the inheritance, which overshadowed all other matters at the moment. That inheritance rune on your forehead, I placed it there, Jiao Fairy responded calmly. With it, you do have a greater chance than others to approach my inheritance. But it's just a chance. The rest depends on you, she added, her tone thoughtful. I understand, Yuru nodded, gently touching the silver moon symbol on her forehead, a sense of realization dawning on her. Thank you, Senior. Since you've already summoned me, you don't need anything else for now. After the situation with the life and death dual spring is resolved, take the token to enter Guanghan Island, Jiao Fairy instructed. Everything you seek, and what they need, is there. Senior, won't you come with us? Yuru was surprised by this revelation. I'm just a remnant soul, a mere shadow of my former self. I won't last much longer. You'll have to rely on yourselves from here on out, Jiao Fairy explained. However, there is another avatar of mine on Guanghan Island. That version of me holds the true inheritance. That's all for now. My time here is running out, but don't worry. Even when I fade, the bindings on Malice Old Monster won't disappear. This is still my domain. Her voice grew faint as her figure became more transparent. Also, the token you need to enter Guanghan Island, take it from Malice Old Monster, she added just before vanishing like a full moon fading from the sky, leaving the life and death dual spring. That damned woman. Malice Old Monster's face twisted in frustration upon hearing her words. So, you have the token for entering Guanghan Island? Yuru stepped forward and asked. I don't. Malice Old Monster roared angrily. Humph. I suggest you hand it over willingly, or you'll suffer for it. Xiao approached, her voice gentle but laced with an underlying threat. You. Malice Old Monster glanced at the women surrounding him, each eyeing him with ill intentions. A chill ran down his spine as he hesitated, weighing whether to surrender the item. Suddenly, the silver mouse hidden within his clothes muttered, Here comes another group after me. Fortunes always change, EngSubs commented with a smile, her gaze fixed on Malice Old Monster as if she had something in mind. Fine. After a moment, Malice Old Monster gritted his teeth and relented. That's better, Xiao smiled, now that she didn't need to force his hand. After all, if Malice Old Monster decided to self-destruct in desperation, it wouldn't be worth it. Silverlight Mouse, get out here. Malice Old Monster shouted down into his clothing. What's he doing? Yuru asked, puzzled. He seems to be calling something. I noticed earlier that there was something in his clothes, Lung Fuyao commented as she moved closer. Come out. Though Malice Old Monster was restrained by Jiao Fairy's spell, his immense power as a perfect 8-star Do-D was undeniable. With a grunt, a burst of energy threw the creature from his clothes. Was that really necessary? A grumpy voice grumbled as a small, silver-furred mouse landed on the ground. It looked around and spoke in a clearly annoyed tone. That's the token for entering Guanghan Island. Take it and leave, Malice Old Monster muttered, glancing at the Silverlight Mouse. Is this really it? EngSubs couldn't help but laugh. Is he trying to trick us? How could the token for Guanghan Island be a little mouse? You're the little mouse, the Silverlight Mouse snapped, its voice full of pride. I'm quite powerful, I'll have you know. Oh, quite powerful, are we? EngSubs chuckled, finding the scene amusing. Although magical beasts capable of speech were typically quite strong, she sensed no significant power coming from the mouse. It seems a bit like the legendary Silverlight Mouse, Yuru suddenly said after a short pause. Silverlight Mouse? With Yuru's words, Xiao, EngSubs, Mufeng, and Lung Fuyao all cast puzzled glances her way. I found this information from the inheritance rune, Yuru quickly explained. The Silverlight Mouse, as they say, is a creature specially raised by Jiao Fairy, used as a key to unlock various palaces. Don't underestimate this little guy, Yuru added. Though it's weak in battle, opening ancient ruins or doors is a breeze for it. A magical beast like that exists? Qin Xian shook her head in disbelief. Even with her experience, she had never heard of such a creature and nodded in acknowledgement. Heh, now you see how amazing I am, right? The Silverlight Mouse, hearing Yuru's description of it, grew even more conceited. Can this thing really open the iron door of the ruin for us? Mu Feng asked, still doubtful. Don't insult me with something so trivial, the Silverlight Mouse scoffed. That door? I could open it with a single finger. Silverlight Mouse, come with us, Yuru thought for a moment, and then said, I believe you'd want to visit Guanghan Island as well. I've been wanting to leave this malice old monster for ages. If there had been anyone else around, I would have left long ago. The Silverlight Mouse cast a disdainful glance at malice old monster. In truth, the mouse deeply resented the old monster's vile practice of draining women's life force, but it was powerless to fight back, so it had no choice but to bide its time, waiting for someone to rescue it. If I had known sooner, I would have just swallowed you whole. Malice Old Monster snapped angrily in response to the Silverlight Mouse's taunts. Heh, Malice Old Monster. Who would have thought you'd end up like this? The mouse laughed. You can wait for your slow death. I'm out of here, it chuckled smugly. With that, it seemed to be mulling something over, before addressing Yuru and the others. But let's make one thing clear, the Silverlight Mouse began grinning. I'll help you spot any traps, but you deal with the enemies, and I'm only here to unlock things. You've got to ensure my safety. Deal, Xiao agreed without hesitation. As long as the mouse could open the entrance to Guanghan Island, nothing else mattered. In that case, once Xiao Yan and the others have fixed the spring and resolved the life and death dual spring issue, we'll head straight to Guanghan Island, Yuru said, and the group fell into silence. With a splash, Xiao Yan and Mu Yingying entered the spring separately, Xiao Yan to the left, Mu Yingying to the right. So cold! The moment Xiao Yan submerged in the spring water, an intense, bone-chilling cold surged through him. The sudden cold sent shivers down his spine, something he rarely experienced. It seems Jiao Fairy was right. The spring eye below must have some serious issue. Otherwise, while cold, the water shouldn't be much different from normal. Xiao Yan murmured. In front of him lay a transparent, colorless spring, so clear that he could faintly make out something glowing deep below, several hundred meters away. What is that? Curiosity got the better of Xiao Yan, and he quickened his pace. Despite being submerged, Xiao Yan's strong soul power, bolstered by the sacred flame and the imperial flame, allowed him to wrap himself in a protective barrier of flame. Strengthening the barrier with his soul power, he felt confident enough to dive deeper. Bubbling sounds filled the water as Xiao Yan descended 50 meters. Suddenly, the once clear water became murky, and an overwhelming pressure surged from the spring's depths, targeting Xiao Yan. Not good. Xiao Yan's mind raced. He knew that battling underwater would drastically reduce his combat effectiveness. Even as a perfect 6-star Do D in water, he would struggle to handle even a mid-6-star Do D. Luckily, he reacted quickly and evaded the water attack. His slender frame helped him slip through the assault with ease. Strange. Is there a guardian down there? But there's no other aura. Below the life and death dual spring, the depth reached approximately 100 meters. Xiao Yan had descended to about 60 meters. The spring water here remained unchanged from the surface, except that it had become murkier, and the pressure from the water made Xiao Yan struggle slightly. Fire, come forth. Xiao Yan increased his power, forcibly creating a 1-meter diameter space in the water to allow his flames to illuminate below. As soon as the flames appeared, they attracted other creatures. However, upon closer inspection, Xiao Yan realized they were just harmless mayflies. 70 meters. Seeing that there was no danger at 60 meters, Xiao Yan descended another 10 meters, his alertness heightened. The water below became increasingly murky, and Xiao Yan knew he needed to be cautious, ready to flee at the first sign of danger. Still nothing? He stayed at 70 meters for a minute without encountering any other creatures or dangers, expressing his surprise. 80 meters. He descended further to 80 meters. Here, Xiao Yan noticed faint traces of dark green light about 20 meters below him. However, due to his vigilance, he did not proceed recklessly. This was the life and death dual spring, and a single mistake could result in his demise. Before Xiao Yan could finish his thoughts, the water at 80 meters suddenly became turbulent, and an indescribable, terrifying pressure rushed toward him. Is it really this intense? Facing the turbulent water, Xiao Yan grimaced but didn't dare to escape. He could only gather his soul power and flame power to dissolve the water's pressure. What a violent current! Is the spring water not stagnant but flowing from somewhere else? Xiao Yan pondered as he dealt with the violent current. No matter, I'll go down and see. At worst, I can use spatial teleportation. With this thought, Xiao Yan continued downward. Despite deliberately slowing his descent, Xiao Yan reached 95 meters within a few breaths. In the turbulent water, he struggled to lift his head but was drawn to something on a rock formation. Yang Mystery Iron Essence? Yang Mystery Iron Essence? Xiao Yan's gaze locked onto the object emitting a dark green glow on the rock formation, his tone as shocked as if he had discovered the sacred flame. I didn't expect it to be the Yang Mystery Iron Essence, part of the Yingying Mystery Iron. This material is said to be the best for forging divine weapons, supposedly lost for years. I can't believe I encountered it again. With this, I can probably enhance the ancient ruler of heavenly flames. And the broken immortal sword I gave to Yingying can be fully restored. But to find the Yingying Mystery Iron Essence would be the true treasure. The Yang Mystery Iron Essence alone would make the weapon lack something. But this is still more than enough. Xiao Yan exclaimed excitedly. Below Xiao Yan was a rock formation about several tens of meters in size, connected to unknown depths. The spring's entrance was blocked by the fist-sized Yang Mystery Iron Essence, causing the life and death dual spring to fall into disuse. Something's not right. Given the malice old monster's nature, he wouldn't have missed this. Even if he didn't know its use, he would have opened the blocked entrance for the life and death dual spring. So why didn't he? Could there be something here that even he didn't notice? Xiao Yan hesitated to take the Yang Mystery Iron Essence, his vigilance prompting him to scan the area again. This was already the bottom of the spring. There was no further way down, and Xiao Yan's soul power indicated that the rock formation was integrated with the reef, making it difficult to break through. The Jiao fairy mentioned that repairing the spring eye requires the sacred flame. Could the malice old monster have left the entrance sealed because it involves the sacred flame? Xiao Yan recalled the Jiao fairy's words and spoke aloud. Let's give it a try. Without hesitation, Xiao Yan summoned the scarlet sacred flame crystal. With its appearance, the temperature at the bottom of the spring rose rapidly, turning it into a faintly warm spring. Come forth, sacred flame. Xiao Yan shouted, keeping his eyes on the Yang Mystery Iron Essence. As expected, the entrance is blocked by the Yang Mystery Iron Essence. Using the dim light of his sacred flame, Xiao Yan vaguely noticed that the palm-sized entrance of the spring was indeed obstructed by a clump of Yang Mystery Iron Essence. The Yang Mystery Iron Essence, glowing faintly cyan, quietly rested at the entrance. Sacred flame, go! Xiao Yan wasted no time and commanded the sacred flame toward the spring eye. Swoosh! Although the sacred flame was formidable, its power was significantly weakened at the bottom of the spring. However, it pressed on without hesitation, heading straight for the spring eye. To resolve the problem of the life and death dual spring, it seemed the Yang Mystery Iron Essence would have to be dealt with first. As soon as the sacred flame touched the Yang Mystery Iron Essence, Xiao Yan let out a puzzled sound. Using his naked eye and soul perception, he suddenly realized that the sacred flame, which had just approached the Yang Mystery Iron Essence, had vanished. It disappeared without a trace, and this happened the moment it made contact with the Yang Mystery Iron Essence. What's going on? Can the Yang Mystery Iron Essence actually devour fire? Xiao Yan had never heard of such a thing before. Yang Mystery Iron Essence was the best material for forging divine weapons, and when paired with its counterpart, the Yin Mystery Iron Essence, the weapons they forged together could easily rank among the top 10 on the immortal weapons list. That was the terrifying nature of the Yin-Yang Mystery Iron Essence duo. However, Xiao Yan remembered that both the Yin and Yang Mystery Iron Essences typically lived in deep, cold, and secluded areas, and the two were never far apart. Hopefully Yingying found the Yin Mystery Iron Essence on her side. Xiao Yan mused with a slight smile as he withdrew, observing the Yang Mystery Iron Essence that had absorbed his sacred flame. After swallowing his sacred flame, the faint cyan glow of the Yang Mystery Iron Essence shifted into a dull yellow, with the sacred flame flickering inside, jumping up and down. My sacred flame isn't that easy to digest, Xiao Yan chuckled. Whoosh. Moments later, the sacred flame suddenly burst free from the Yang Mystery Iron Essence. If you want to devour more, be my guest. Without hesitation, Xiao Yan's palm began to glow as the sacred flame crystal radiated an even more intense earthy yellow. Sacred flame energy surged from his body and shot toward the Yang Mystery Iron Essence once again. Gurgle, gurgle. The Yang Mystery Iron Essence seemed to be frightened by this new wave of sacred flame energy, and the tightly sealed entrance of the spring eye began to loosen slightly. There's hope. Seeing this, Xiao Yan didn't let up, quickly pulling out a large number of pills and tossing them toward the Yang Mystery Iron Essence, intent on wearing it down. Meanwhile, on the other side, Yingying was facing an identical situation to Xiao Yan. What is this thing? Yingying, wrapped in her blue sacred flame, approached the spring eye only to find a clump of dark cyan material about the size of a fist blocking the entrance, just like Xiao Yan had encountered. So, this is what's blocking the entrance, Yingying muttered softly. If Xiao Yan were here, he would immediately recognize the object as none other than the Yin Mystery Iron Essence. Together with the Yang Mystery Iron Essence, they formed the Yin-Yang Mystery Iron Essence pair, the finest material for crafting divine weapons. Why is this thing absorbing my power? Yingying reached out to the Yin Mystery Iron Essence, attempting to remove it, but something unexpected occurred. Damn it! In the next moment, Yingying felt her energy rapidly draining, as if the Yin Mystery Iron Essence was relentlessly absorbing her strength. Stop! Yingying knew that continuing like this would lead to trouble. Her face grew serious as she shouted in frustration. Yet, no matter what she did, it was useless. Her energy kept pouring into the Yin Mystery Iron Essence. Sacred flame, come out? Yingying gritted her teeth and suppressed the growing weakness, commanding the sacred flame to appear. As the blue sacred flame emerged, her pupils turned the same deep blue, and her once pure aura shifted, becoming strange and filled with greed. Heh, let's see how long you can last, she muttered, her voice tinged with eerie laughter. To think that the mighty sacred flame could be devoured by a spirit of the sacred flame. I find it quite amusing. The truth is, back when you and your brother were at the Docian level, choosing to transform into humans was a huge mistake. After becoming human, your strength was too weak, yet you still thought you could seal me? Humans are far too greedy. If others found out who you truly are, your situation would be very dire. Especially that guy. The one who practices the flame mantra. I wonder how shocked he'd be if he discovered your true identity. Am I right, my master? Sacred flame origin? The blue-eyed Yingying laughed wickedly. No, it can't be. Suddenly, Yingying's pupils shifted back to normal, and she murmured in disbelief. By that time, I fear. Yingying's sapphire blue eyes flashed as she finished her sentence, suddenly feeling an unusually solid force absorbing her energy from her palm. She snorted coldly. You think a lowlife like you can just absorb the power of a dignified Docian, like the spirit of the sacred flame? With a sneer, Yingying effortlessly flicked away the Yang Mystery Iron Essence, sending it flying. You! Get out! Yingying's eyes quickly regained their calm as she shouted angrily. However, despite her anger, Yingying couldn't deny that what the spirit of the sacred flame had said was true. My brother always says, human emotions, joys and sorrows, are the most beautiful things. Xiao Yan, I know you won't let me down, she murmured, still holding on to some hope as she spoke softly. The next moment, Yingying looked down and noticed that the young mystery iron essence had already dislodged from the spring eye. Feeling relieved, she was about to leave when something strange suddenly occurred. Wait, isn't this the broken immortal sword that Xiao Yan gave me? Yingying's gaze locked onto the sword, which had suddenly emerged from her storage ring, and she was momentarily puzzled. The sword buzzed, emitting an almost greedy aura, pointing directly at the young mystery iron essence. Are you saying this thing is useful? Yingying understood the sword's intentions and quickly thought it over. Without hesitating further, she retrieved the young mystery iron essence, preparing to leave. Only then did the sword vanish once again. With the obstruction of the young mystery iron essence gone, mysterious energies surged endlessly from the spring, as if the life and death dual spring had returned to its natural flow. Strange. Even though I've removed the young mystery iron essence, and the life and death dual spring should be restored, this entrance seems to be connected to somewhere else. Xiao Yan muttered as he stared at the spring eye, where water continued to gush out. The spring's water gave Xiao Yan a sense of transformation, yet something still felt off. It was as though the spring eye led to another place entirely. Whatever. I should go check on Yingying first, Xiao Yan said, pocketing the young mystery iron essence before heading to the outer edge of the life and death dual spring. As Xiao Yan departed, a figure slowly spoke from within the spring eye. So, someone actually managed to unblock the life and death dual spring. The devouring force from that place is immense. Even the malice old monster, a perfect 8-star Do-D, was powerless against it. Who would have thought? The voice, though faint, clearly originated from Guanghan Island. Are you all right? Yingying emerged first from the spring, and several people rushed forward to ask. I'm fine. The spring eye was indeed blocked, but I managed to open it using my sacred flame. It won't be long before the life and death dual spring is fully operational again. Yingying smiled. Where's Xiao Yan? He's not back yet? She glanced around, not hearing any sign of him, and asked. He should be on his way, Yuru replied, not wanting to say much more. No, I'll go check on him, Yingying declared, turning toward the spring entrance Xiao Yan had taken without a second thought. No, you can't. You're not well. Xiao Yan specifically said to wait for him up here. Qin Xian stepped forward and held Yingying back. Mu Feng, hearing this, was perplexed. What's going on? Xiao Yan never said that. Why is Qin Xian making things up? That's not helping anyone. Cold Fuyao's voice suddenly echoed in Mu Feng's mind. Are you stupid? Huh. Mu Feng was confused. Xiao Yan hadn't said anything like that. So why was Qin Xian lying and causing trouble? Your aura seems a bit unstable. Did something happen down there? Xiaoqi also stepped forward and asked. I'm fine, it's just this thing. Yingying, recalling Xiao Yan's earlier instructions, felt warmth in her heart as she responded. What is that? Yuru and the others gathered around curiously. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure, Yingying admitted. But whatever it is, its devouring power is incredibly strong. Without my sacred flame, I'd have had a hard time dealing with it. And this was what was blocking the spring eye, she explained. These things really are a bunch of little monsters. 2 sacred flames? Sacred flames are extraordinary treasures from the great thousand worlds. How can they keep showing up like this? Besides, that thing blocking the spring eye is a valuable treasure. If I hadn't been stuck here, I wouldn't have let you get away with it so easily. Malice old monster grumbled regretfully, clearly eyeing the dark green iron essence in Yingying's hand. He would have made a move if not for being bound by that wretched Jiao fairy, leaving him powerless. That thing. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's definitely a treasure, Mu Feng spoke up, his expertise in the 5 elements 8 trigrams technique clearly showing. Plop. With a soft splash, Xiao Yan's figure slowly emerged from the spring water. Xiao Yan is back, someone in the crowd murmured. Everyone looked up to see Xiao Yan holding a piece of metal in his hand, identical to the one he had found earlier. No one knew what it was for. All right, the life and death dual spring is back to normal. You can all enter soon. Whether it helps elevate your life force level or grants other benefits, that remains to be seen. After saying this, Xiao Yan shook his head and walked over to Yingying, asking softly, "Are you all right?" "I'm fine," she replied. "Look, this thing was blocking the spring's source," Yingying said, her face calm, though she was inwardly pleased. Whether it was Xiao Yan stopping her earlier or his concern now, she knew it was genuine care from the bottom of his heart. "My goodness, is that the Yang mystery iron essence?" Xiao Yan exclaimed in surprise when he saw the chunk of metal in her hand. "I didn't expect it to be real. The Yingying iron essence is always found in pairs, never too far apart. Yingying, when we get back, give me your immortal sword. I'll repair it for you," Xiao Yan said, clearly pleased. Yingying nodded slightly in agreement. Meanwhile, Yuru's expression darkened, realizing she had to refocus her attention elsewhere. With the life and death dual spring restored, it was time to venture inside. "It's good to go. Let's head in." Xiao Yan watched as the spring began to shimmer with water infused with the power of life and death, knowing that both spring sources were now functioning. He turned to the crowd, "Let's move." Upon hearing this, the group responded softly, eyes filled with anticipation. If the life and death dual spring could truly enhance their life force grade, the benefits would be unimaginable. A higher life force not only meant better combat prowess, but would also greatly boost their death force in the future, a win on all fronts. "How confident are you in enhancing your life force? Perhaps I should join you," Yingying, walking by the spring, suggested. "I also have the sacred flame, so if things go south, I could." "You focus on refining your life force," Xiao Yan chuckled. "Yours is at the 8th rank now, so maybe it'll reach the 9th. Don't worry about me, trust me. 9th rank isn't so easy to reach, you know," Lung Fuyao muttered softly. Her own life force was at the 6th rank, so she couldn't compare to the others. After all, Xiaoqi had an 8th rank life force, and both Yuru and Qin Xian, along with Mu Feng, were at the 7th rank. "All right, everyone, find a quiet spot and begin." With that, Xiao Yan didn't hesitate further. They each found their own place and began their cultivation. The life and death dual spring was vast, more than enough to accommodate everyone. TSK, TSK, TSK. Xiao Yan had just entered the spring water when he immediately felt a piercing pain. But this time, he didn't envelop his body in flames for protection. Instead, he only shielded his forehead. After all, the spring water was now infused with the power of life and death. The more his body absorbed, the greater the benefits, so it would be foolish to block out such power. According to Malice Old Monster, I need to first absorb some of the life and death energy from the life and death dual spring. Only then can I sense the impending 6-star Do-D life tribulation and hopefully draw it out, Xiao Yan muttered, before diving straight to the bottom of the spring. The spring's source might not necessarily be where the life and death energy was most concentrated, but the bottom of the spring surely was. Upon reaching the bottom, Xiao Yan noticed that the others had already arrived, their eyes closed as they began their cultivation. It was clear everyone knew the spring's depths were the best place to absorb the life and death force. "Let's begin," Xiao Yan said to himself and started absorbing. Sure. As soon as he began, a wave of death energy surged through his body. This was unmistakably death force. I don't have any life force in my body yet. If I absorb this death force, I might explode from within. So, get out of here. Xiao Yan shouted fiercely. Although Xiao Yan was tempted to absorb the death force, doing so without life force to balance it would be suicidal. It seems I can only absorb the life force from this life and death dual spring. As for the death force, forget it. Life force it is then, Xiao Yan thought to himself. Though he envied the others for absorbing both life and death energies, which would likely make their eventual breakthrough to 9-star Do-D much easier, he understood his own situation. Resigned, he severed his soul perception of the others, choosing to focus solely on absorbing the life force from the spring. Hoo-hoo. With Xiao Yan's complete concentration, the life force continued to surge into his body. 1 day, 2 days, 10 days passed in the blink of an eye. Why hasn't Xiao Yan come out yet? Yingying's voice held a note of urgency. In 10 days, The rest of them had exited the life and death dual spring, their bodies reaching their absorption limits. Yingying's life force had remained at the 8th grade, but compared to when she had entered, the difference was vast. Her current concentration of life force had reached the peak of the 8-star level, just a step away from the 9th grade. Yet, even she wasn't confident about breaking through to that level. But this is more than enough. With such powerful life force, I could easily take on a perfect 6-star Do D, or even fight an early 7-star Do D, Yingying thought, smiling with satisfaction. Like Yingying, Xiao Qi had also reached the peak of the 8th grade. The 9th grade was simply too elusive. Meanwhile, Xiao Yan, Feng, and Yuru remained at the 7th grade, but they had reached the peak of 7-star Do D. The only person who had seen a notable improvement in life force was Long Fuyao, whose life force had jumped from 6th to 7th grade. Though this leap wasn't extraordinary, it proved that the life and death dual spring truly held a mysterious power that enhanced life force. As for Xiao Yan, he's a special case. He's probably trying to trigger his 6-star Do D life tribulation. Only by successfully passing the tribulation can one generate life force within their body, Xiao Qi said, contemplating. But it's odd. How could Xiao Yan, with such formidable strength, not have life force? Xiao Qi mused aloud, puzzled. It's likely because, during one of his previous adventures, Xiao Yan's strength surged directly from 5-star Do D to 6-star Do D due to the matter with the sacred flame. As a result, his 6-star Do D life tribulation was masked, Yingying said, thinking it over casually, as there were no outsiders present. Is that so? Xiao Qi felt a tinge of sympathy for Xiao Yan upon hearing this. The spring is starting to ripple violently. Xiao Yan must be nearing success, Long Fuyao remarked, her gaze never leaving the surface of the spring. She was eager to see if Xiao Yan could pull it off. Deep down, Long Fuyao had a feeling. If Xiao Yan successfully triggered his life tribulation, the resulting grade of his life force would be anything but ordinary. What's this? Such a dense life force. Xiao Qi's sharp eyes immediately picked up on the overwhelming presence of life force. Although the life force is dense, doesn't it seem like it's from the life and death dual spring itself? And did you notice? There's not a trace of death force mixed in. It's pure life force, Xian observed, her voice tinged with surprise. What is that guy up to? Yuru murmured, her delicate brows furrowing in confusion at Xiao Yan's actions. 10 days of accumulating such potent life force. I hope this time it doesn't disappoint me. 6-star Do D life tribulation. Show yourself, Xiao Yan whispered, his pupils snapping open as he fixed a piercing gaze on the area above the life and death dual spring. There, something seemed to be hidden, something Xiao Yan had long sensed.